Hi guys, hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
To join me is Mr. Cayden Chang.
Thank you. Cayden.
Mr. Cayden. Oh, really,
Yeah.
Mr. Okay.
Yeah.
So he is the founder of MyKinesis, Value Investing Academy,
Yeah.
and also he has presence across 11 cities around the region,
Yeah.
okay, across Asia and all that. And he has also graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees and 1 master's degree.
Yeah.
Right?
Which has nothing to do with investing.
Yes. And he has also been trained in value investing by professors in
Bruce Greenwald.
Bruce Greenwald,
Yeah,
in
from
Columbia
Columbia
University.
Yeah.
And also University of Western Ontario.
Professor
right?
George IB Business School.
Yeah, and he has also been featured in many, more than 30 occasions in various media outlets. Okay, internationally, even in Singapore also. Alright.
So maybe Geraint, you talk about yourself.
Talk about myself. Okay.
To my audience.
So for me, if you don't know me, I am a financial strategist from IAM Advisory. So the reason why I am doing this interview is so that I can give some value back to my audience, because a lot of my audience, my clients, they want to know how to invest, but they don't know how to invest. Okay, so I'm going around searching for people who are influencers to give you tips, okay, to invest. Okay, so how we knew each other was actually 3 years ago already. It's not something very
Time flies.
yeah, time flies. 3 years ago, back when I was in the army, before I even started school. So I searched online how to become financially free, and I learned that investing is one of the ways . So I went to Google, find Cayden Chang, and then I went and attended his course. So I attended his free course, and I found what he shared aligned to what I studied online . So I knew he was like a legit person, not like a scam or what.
Yeah, this one important.
Important, not scam. So eventually I attended his course, and I read quite a lot of results from it, from his strategies and all that. Okay.
And Geraint, I think is when I know him, he was very young. I mean, he's still young today. So it's important that in order for us to invest, we need to start as early as possible. And most people always say we want to start now.
Yes.
So I'm really happy to know Geraint as well. He's one of the really very young, dynamic, hardworking, committed people who wanted to help people to really reach their financial goals, which is why he's in this line because he could have taken a full-time job,
could have
fixed it up, but he chose something, a path that's least taken by most people.
And the reason why I do that is actually because a lot of my loved ones have been sort of like got scammed by a lot of scam financially by professionals or perceived professionals. Okay, so I just want to give back to society. Okay. So this interview is more about Cayden.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay. So maybe maybe you can tell the audience what got you started on investing.
Back to the question about my background is I graduated from NUS. My first degree is in biology. Second degree is in zoology. So my third degree, a master's, is also in science. So I've never known anything about investing. So I'm a zero knowledge person. And I wanted to be rich like most people. So what happened was in 2001, I went almost bankrupt when the dot-com bubble burst. So in year 2000, it was the peak where dot-com was a thing, technology companies was a thing. So what happened was I took some courses that I thought it was investing. Now I think back, actually it's not investing, but at that point in time, I thought it was investing. So I trusted what was being taught, so I just followed, But it's my fault in the sense that I put all my savings during the time was $50,000 across a period of time, and then when the dot-com bubble burst, I lost everything. And what makes things worse was it came out in newspapers subsequently, Sunday Times. What made things worse was the money that I used to invest. Actually, I was gambling. It's supposed to be meant for my wedding. So there was a very big trouble that I got myself in because just a couple of weeks before my Chinese customer wedding. So if I couldn't raise that 50k, most likely this wedding wouldn't take place, and that's it. Yeah. So after I lost my money, I realized that despite having a degree, which has nothing to do with investing, I think myself, including there are a lot of other people out there, I think we really need to know about investing. And even if we don't know about investing, at least something related to money management, personal finance, which is what you're talking through your videos and so on. So I think this is very important. But unfortunately the schools don't teach us. The school teach us to get a piece of paper and then work. So they always teach us work for money, but I think we need to make money work for us. So back to your question, the key trigger point is I lost the money. I realized I need the knowledge to make the money back. Yeah, that's when I start to like, go Google what's the stuff. Then it was by chance my ex-subordinate, his name is called James. He got this book, he placed on his table. So one day I popped inside his office, I saw this book. Then I said, hey, what is this book? That time I really lost all my money. So the book looked something like, I don't know. So I asked him what is it. So we over lunch, he tell me, oh, this person. Then he introduced to me the word value investing.
Okay.
So that was the very first time that I got to know, wow, value investing, never heard before. Sounds slow, but don't know whether it works or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was through James that I got started.
Through James.
Yeah, which is my ex-subordinate. We previously worked in the same company.
Okay. Maybe you can share with them what exactly is value investing?
Value investing, if I could make it very simple, is simply is simply buying a cheap and a good business that grows.
Okay.
That grows, yeah. So cheap, good, and grow. So that is the ideal situation if we can invest in stocks. The second ideal situation is if we cannot find a cheap, good, and grow stocks, we find something that's cheap and good.
Cheap and good.
Yeah, cheap and good. Yeah. So, but initially, that's not how value investing works. Way back in 1920s, when first Benjamin Graham taught value investing in Columbia University, which is the place that I've been to. His focus was predominantly only for cheap companies. So whether it's good, bad, or whatever, as long as it's cheap, he considered that as value investing. But I think as time passes, value investing has been popularized by Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett add in a component of good and add in a component of growth. So value investing has been evolving. Initially it was cheap. Then right now it's cheap, good, and grow, or cheap and good.
Okay. Okay. So basically cheap, good, and grow.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So because a lot of people, they know in order to invest they need to buy low and sell high.
Yeah.
Okay. But how do you really identify the cheapest company or the lowest price, or what makes a good company good?
Yeah.
What are some of the criteria
Yeah.
you have to follow?
Okay. So I think way back in 2001, when I lost money, I realized that I do not have the knowledge. And when I say knowledge, is we need to have some form of a structure or a step or some proven ways that people who have zero experience, they can follow. So I didn't have this. So it's true learning from others, the professors, some of the success investors. So what I did was I took all the knowledge, compiled it, and then recraft it in a simple step-by-step, like idiot-proof way so that people can start investing. So back to your question about how to find good companies, what we do is in Value Investing Academy, we use a simple structure through this acronym called SEGA.
Okay.
So as a kid, I played this video game called Sega. There was this Nintendo and there was Sega. So I just use Sega, like SEGA. So what does SEGA stands for? So S stands for search. Yeah. So in order for us to buy stocks, we need to know where to find stocks. Some people do not know where to find. So there are many ways for us to search for a stock. So S stands for search. And once you found, usually stocks are everywhere, ideas around us. For example, we're using like our phone to do recording. Yeah, like for example, this camera on mine is Sony, and then this one is iPhone. So one of the ways to search for a stock, in fact, it's just around us. So iPhone comes from Apple. Apple is a public listed company. Sony in Japan is a public listed company. Yours, Samsung, I'm not very sure it's a public listed company, but but the ideas are everywhere. So once we have found an idea, for example, we have found Sony, we have found Samsung, we have found Apple, but we cannot just buy, just because the phone is good or stylish or whatever. So we need to go through a rigorous process, and the next one is E. So E stands for evaluate. So to make it simple is, when we evaluate, eventually we want to know whether is it a good company or bad company.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's a good company, that means the good company will never go bust because it's good, keep making money. So if the company will not go bust, then we won't lose money. So the scariest thing in investing is you lose money, because making money is very difficult, losing money is very easy. So you want to buy a good company so that you won't lose, and yet you make. So good company is very important. So evaluation, there are only two endpoints. One is good and one is bad. Yeah, so we want to avoid the bad. So after the E, which is evaluation, the next thing what we want to do is we want to do the G. Yeah, G that means gauge the intrinsic value. Just now we talked about value investing, consider of cheap, good, and grow. So we have the good component, but we cannot buy things at an infinite price. Like for example, the phone. Let's say the phone is roughly maybe $1,000, but nobody will want to pay $10,000 for a same phone. Yeah, because 10,000, if the phone is worth 1,000, it loses 9,000. Yeah, so if something is worth this amount, you overpaid, you're going to lose money, even though the company may not go bust. Yeah. So it's important for us to identify something that's good, it can be a product, it can be anything, and then buy it at a discount. Yeah, which is why people go for the Great Singapore Sale. Yeah, you can get something that's worth $100 for $50. Wow, you already make $50 the moment you buy. And the last one, which is just now we talk about S search, E evaluate, G gauge intrinsic value. The last one is really to form an asset portfolio. Because most people when they ask me is, okay, right now I identify a stock, but should I put all my money inside? Or should I cut it out into many pieces? Yeah, so we need to have a portfolio of stocks. Yeah. So if you look at the soccer team, soccer game World Cup, which just ended recently, you realize that all soccer team has different top players. They have the strikers, the midfielders, the defenders, the goalkeepers, and those people were sitting on the bench and reserves. Yeah, so but I never seen a team that become a champion where all are strikers or all are defenders or all midfielders. So I think if you apply this analogy to investing is we need to have a portfolio. Some stocks are like strikers, some stocks are like midfielders, some stocks are like defenders.
You need to have a mix.
Yeah, you need to have a mix. You put all in one basket, all strikers are quite dangerous, you know. Yeah. So I think this is we need to have a structure first. So that we don't lose money and yet we can grow our pot of money.
Actually, that soccer analogy is what we also educate our clients also.
Yeah, which is very important.
Yeah. And also what you say about the simplicity of it, right? Actually, in schools, right?
Yeah.
Because I studied like economics and finance. Then the way they teach is really a lot of theories, a lot of
a lot of theories. Yeah.
So I attended Cayden's course first before I attended school.
Okay.
It gave me a better understanding on how to deal with school. Cayden's course instead of the other way around. Yeah. So because a lot of people they ask me how to invest even after studying like accounting, finance, all that. They don't know how to put what they learn right into action.
Yeah, into action, the practical use.
So what Cayden's course does is he simplifies everything. Into step by step, very simple, and it helps you to take action.
Yeah, that's very important.
So that's what helped me to gain quite good, quite a few good results from this course.
Okay. And of course, other than investing, one very important role that Geraint play is the defensive side. I mean, yes, we can make money, but I went through 2 rounds of cancer, so no matter how rich I am, if let's say I got myself in some serious trouble, medical issue, I can give you one example, like the first time when I was diagnosed with cancer in 2010, then I need to go for my surgery. Then I was looking at the bill. I look at the number before the insurance or whatever things. So it was slightly more than 50,000. But mine was a major surgery, but still quite simple. But I know friends who like spend hundreds of thousands of dollars because they are really sick and then they have a problem. So there's always 2 sides of things. One is the defensive side. I think having some form of coverage insurance, which is very important, which is what Geraint is specializing at. And of course, while we are defending in case we have some policies to take care of whatever, the next one is we want to grow our money as well. So there are 2 parts of it, which is why we're here. So one is to take care of the protection part, and the other part is to grow our pot of money.
Alright, very good.
Very good. Happy, right?
Yes. Okay, next question, right? Since we are talking about like risky behaviors, there are few people who I actually have known quite a lot of people. They really want to invest, but they are afraid of investing. They feel that you put your money in, it's also not guaranteed. So in your opinion, right? Do you think investing is risky?
Actually, it's a tricky question. Like, is investing risky? It all depends on who are you asking this question. Like, for example, if I ask my surgeon who operated on me for my cancer surgery, so if I ask him, is surgery risky? He might say that if it's the surgeon, then risk very low. Risk very low because the specialized is being trained. Like, he has almost 20 years as a senior consultant. So if you ask him, he say, I don't think it's very risky. But if you ask a layman on the road, you ask him, hey, if you perform a surgery on Cayden, is it risky or not? Of course, he will say it's risky. So the same question is, it all depends on who you ask. Like if I ask a general public, like some of the clients, ask them, is investing risky? To them, they have not learned anything about investing, they will definitely say it's risky. And these people who do not invest or have no knowledge in investing, unfortunately, it takes up a huge pie of the Singapore's population. So you ask them, most of them they will say it's risky because they know nothing. Right? To answer that question, the risk comes from the knowledge that we have. So the more knowledge they have, the risk is lower. So the lack of knowledge, the risk become higher. Yeah, which is why it's important for us to learn as a surgeon how to, the medical degree that they have, how to perform surgery. And then I fly very often. The pilot, they have a pilot license. How many hours of flying? You ask me, your flight is risky, lah. I don't think I can even allow the plane take off. Yeah. So as long as any instrument, surgery, flying a plane, or anything, or even cutting the fugu, the sushi. Yeah. So if you leave in the hands of the right person who are well trained, then the risk is really very little. But if certain task is given to someone who knows nothing, they become very dangerous. But unfortunately, the know nothing one takes up a larger percentage of Singapore's population. Yeah. So higher knowledge, low risk. No knowledge, high risk.
Higher knowledge and skills also.
Yeah, skills also. Yeah, skills also.
Important.
Yeah. Knowledge also must practice on how to cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But some people know academically and never invested before. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that's one more component. Very good. But I think the most ideal situation is you have a mentor. Yeah, it's like people want to become a doctor but go to medical school. Yeah. Then who are the people who teach the so-called the freshies? They are the professors who are experienced.
Yep.
So I think to learn the skill, we always want to have a mentor. You want to learn swimming, we have a swimming coach. We want to learn how to fly a plane, we have some professional pilots. But the irony in life is when we are putting our decades of savings at stake, we didn't find someone to teach. We just jump inside a swimming pool and hope that one day we can swim. Or we just take a knife, we just anyhow cut. Hopefully there's something goes right. So I find there's a huge irony and very funny, It's like when you want to buy a laptop, you spend hours trying to compare the specs.
Yeah.
But the laptop 1,000 won. But when you want to invest 100,000, they like split 1 second. Oh, because my broker tell me, then my 100,000 go in. So I just couldn't understand this unusual behavior. Yeah, it's a penny wise, pound foolish. Penny think they are. Then big things they bo chap 1 second decision. Wow, this is quite scary, right?
Yeah, I think because many people make decisions based on like greed. Or
Yeah, which is why it's very important for your role to rationalize things for them.
Yeah. Important for you to educate them also.
Yeah. So must pay attention.
Yeah. So what are 3 tips, right, that you can give to investors, beginner investors? People who want to invest but they don't know how to.
Yeah. So if I could start my life all again, going back to my early 20s after I graduated, I think the first thing is really knowledge. Yeah, the first thing is knowledge. And if I want knowledge, I need to get from someone who has been there and done it. If I want to be a good swimmer, I need to find a really good swimming coach who has been there and done it. Yeah, ideally, if it's an Olympic person, that would be the best. Yeah, so to get the knowledge. Yeah, so let's assuming that I read knowledge, I got a mentor who teach me everything. Then the next one is to put it into practice. Yeah. So again, to put it in practice, you need a mentor. But to put it in practice, you need money. Yeah, right. If there is no capital, there's no way to invest. So what's the good thing about Singapore is investing is actually quite simple. It's quite cheap. In the early days, if you buy Singapore stocks, you need a minimum of 1 lot, and the 1 lot is 1,000 shares. But I think since many years ago, right now it's 1 lot is 100 shares. So for example, like you in the army days, you got $500. Yeah. If one stock is $1, you buy 1 lot, it's only $100. Yeah. So if your salary is 500, for NS guys, you can buy like 5 lot. Yeah. So first one is knowledge. Second one is the cash. Yeah. So maybe I share one tip along this. A very quick tip is based on my social circle, I realized that most of my friends, they make a very small mistake in terms of money, but it's going to have a huge impact in their life subsequent years. For example, most people when they draw salary, right, the first thing they do is they pay others. Yeah, like pay M1 bill, that kind of thing. So they pay others. After they pay others, they check how much is that. Oh, I got $200 there. Oh, then the $200 I keep. So step one, the sequence of thinking is I take salary, I pay others, then pay myself. Yeah, then after that you'll complain, okay, now I got no money to invest because every month you left $200. Yeah, but the other way around is Warren Buffett say is when you draw a salary, when you receive a salary, first step is to pay yourself, which is what usually financial.
Yes.
Yeah. So for example, if I pay myself, every month I pay 500 to myself. Then the rest of the money, you realize that, the rest of money cannot buy car. Then don't buy car. Then the rest of money cannot buy condo, or then don't buy condo. But strangely, people buy car, buy condo first, then after that say no money.
Yes.
Yeah, so now the best tip, I mean, you will totally agree, is number one is pay ourselves first, then pay
Yes.
others. Versus most of people who pay others first, they pay ourselves, then complaining they got no money to invest. Yeah. So first one knowledge, second one is cash, and of course, last one, which is also important, is all investment requires time. About a couple of months ago, Li Ka-shing, the richest person in Hong Kong, he retired. But last time he started washing people's plates in the kitchen of restaurants. So from washing dishes and then know nothing about investing to the richest person in Hong Kong, it requires time. All rich people takes time. But the thing is, some people want it quick. Like today invest, they want it tomorrow, or they want it yesterday. Yeah. So usually when they want it quick, it elicits this greed in them. And then their radar is they seek out for Garage quick scheme. And when they seek out for Garage quick scheme, just nice, the scammer on standby already. Yeah, they are looking for people who are lazy, got money, don't want to do anything, get rich quick. Yeah, which is why some of the scams, even though it's happened in the past, it's repeating, you know. Yeah. So we have to acknowledge that investment requires time, and because it requires time, we have to start investing today. And not only investing, planning protection for our loved one, insurance, we have to start today. And there was one time people asked Warren Buffett, it's like, when is the best time to invest? So he said that the best time is 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, what are you talking about 20 years ago? Yeah, but of course the second best time is today. Whether we're talking about protecting our loved one or investing. Yeah. So in a nutshell, knowledge, getting knowledge from a mentor. Second one, pay ourselves first, followed by pay others so that you have money to invest. And third one is we need to acknowledge that investing requires time so that we don't fall ourselves into greed and then get rich quick scheme. Yeah, these are 3 tips. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much. I just want to touch on the point, the knowledge part. Because back then I remember when I was in the army, I didn't have much money, but I always, every time my money came in, right, I always save it first. I don't spend as much. Okay. Then when I stumbled upon investing, right, I knew I didn't have much capital, but I wanted to learn how to invest.
Yeah.
So basically, what I did was invest in myself first, my knowledge.
Yeah.
So my savings, right, almost my whole lifetime savings.
Pass it to me. Well, it's not recorded, quite dangerous.
Was it okay then? Because I trust that he will be able to guide me well lah.
Wow, lucky it turns out fine.
Lucky it turned out fine.
Yeah.
So once I attended his course, then I have some knowledge already, right? Then I use whatever the rest of my savings, right, to invest. Yeah. Even though it's a very small amount, and the commission will take quite a high fee, right? Yeah. My thinking was that it wasn't so much about making money when I invest. It was more about learning the skills on how to invest.
Yeah.
So I was basically acquiring the skills on how to fish.
Yeah, life skill.
Yeah.
And the stock 90%. What
yeah,
is it again?
90%. DBS and OCBC, I bought 2 stocks. In 2015 when the stock market crashed. Yeah. And that was after I did his course. So I was like I was still very afraid to invest.
Yeah.
But then I just go for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah, even if I lose this amount of money, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just treat it as a learning lesson.
Yeah.
And some more is DBS, how bad can it be, right?
Yeah, correct. Which is why good company is very important.
Yeah, good company so.
Yeah. And you did something which is quite amazing as compared to most of the people is during the crash, usually people will sell.
Yes.
So you did the opposite.
Yes.
So when most people are selling, you're the one buying. Yeah. So sometimes people ask me, how is it possible you can buy cheap things? You just do the opposite of the rest. When people sell, you buy, and then when people buy, you sell. Yeah, that's how you get the 90%. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Because if you follow majority of people, you will have the mediocre returns from majority of people. Yeah. And there's one more thing which highlighted is very important is a lot of people thought that learning how to invest is expensive.
Yeah.
But in fact, I think the most expensive is actually ignorance. Yeah, ignorance is the most expensive. And then right now, your early 20s, I can imagine the next 50 years. The amount of money you churn just by compounding 19. Don't say 19, let's say half. Let's say 10, right? 10. Oh my goodness, it's easy multi-million.
Yes.
Yeah, easy. Okay, very good. Yeah, so anything you want to ask? Still.
Anything I want to ask?
Any closing statement you have?
Okay, before that, I still want to touch another point about pay yourself first. This
Yeah. Continue.
Because
very important.
This is my next video that I have already recorded, going to publish like this weekend. So I want to touch on this pay yourself first, because a lot of people, like what Cayden said, they always pay other people first.
Yeah.
They think pay yourself first means spending their money on like holiday, rewarding themselves for all the hard work, 1 month of working. They think that is pay yourself first. So that's a misconception, because if you do that, right, you don't have as much money to invest and compound. Okay?
You want to spend yourself.
Correct.
Spend on yourself.
So that is a very important habit that rich people have. They invest on themselves first. Okay, closing statement.
Is there anything you want to say?
Okay, maybe give a short summary of
Sure.
what I shared.
Yeah, sure.
So, what I can remember was that Cayden just said about SEGA, Sega.
Yeah, Sega.
And S stands for
Search.
Search. G, good company.
Search, and then you evaluate. Make sure that's good
evaluate.
first. Yeah. Then after that, you want to make sure that it is cheap by gauging the intrinsic value.
Okay,
Then after that, form an asset portfolio. So SEGA.
SEGA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at least the structure for newbies like me in the early days to follow.
Okay. What about the 3 tips?
The 3 tips in summary is if we want knowledge first before invest.
Okay.
If we do not have knowledge, we have money to invest, is as good as gambling. So to get knowledge, it's always good to have a mentor.
Yes.
Yeah, very important, very well. All successful athlete has a coach. There's no such thing as people won athletic medal by just randomly trying out. So knowledge. Second one is, just now we're talking about the cash. To have more cash, we need to pay ourselves first. When we say pay ourselves, is to save lah.
Yeah.
Not to pay ourselves and then go on holiday. So it's to save then pay others.
Correct.
Yeah, versus pay others then save too late already. Then the last one is all investment requires time. Rich people requires time to become rich. There's no such thing as get rich quick. So that we avoid falling to scam, we don't lose money, and then yet we make money. And then with the insurance, we are being protected in some ways. So these are some of the summary that we have discussed.
Very good, very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Very happy.
Yeah.
A lot of insightful, juicy news that we shared today. So, okay, maybe in closing we can talk about
Still got one closing.
your book.
Oh, my book.
Yeah.
Actually, I have not written any investment book yet. Maybe I just check. Yeah, this is quite surprising. This book is not written by me, but it's published by my company. If you go to any bookstores, you should be able to see this company. It's written by 3 of my friends who are very young investors. They are like as young as Geraint. And you can see here, My Kinesis Value Investing Academy, and then the cow here. The cow is my mascot lah. So when I use the cow, it represents cash cow. So it's a mascot. And then the third print, right? Yeah, our book's finishing. Most likely there's going to be a 4th print. So this is the book. I didn't write it, so it's not really my investment book, but I published it. So this is my investment book, but unfortunately it's written in Japanese, so you cannot find anywhere other than in Japan. Yeah. So what it says here is, it says introduction to investing, and then on top here it says you can earn money while asleep. I know when you say earn money while asleep, how is it possible? Remember, when you own a business, you practically don't have to work. Like for example, if you own 5% of Starbucks, you don't have to work. You don't have to be a barista there and then make coffee. Yeah. So the company pays you. Yeah. So I mean, in life, is either you are owned by the business, your own business, or you really own a business.
Correct.
Yeah. So this is a book, and all the books I published, all are being donated to charity. This one I've donated to Children Cancer Association in Japan. This one is National Cancer Association, NCC, National Cancer Center of Singapore. Yeah. So these are books. So if let's say you want to know more, you really want to find a mentor to help you, like become a gold medalist in swimming, what you need to do is just go to this website, very easy to remember. It's www.valueinvestingprogram.com. So valueinvestingprogram.com, the long program. Even type short is okay. So www.valueinvestingprogram.com. Yeah. Okay. So that's about me.
Okay. I just want to touch about this book. Because I read this book when I was in the army. Yeah. And it really helped me a lot. One of the first investment books that I read. This was before I had much financial knowledge. This one, it really simplified everything down.
Yeah. And it's only $33, right? $33 make let's say 3,003, then 3,3 million, I think it's worth it.
Yeah. So if you're a beginner, right? Recommended again this book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you're Japanese, just get this book.
Yeah.
I think very few in Singapore. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is my, let me see first. Let's put second book. This my second book I've written. The Japanese one is the third book. The Book of Hope. In short, it talks about my cancer journey and also the journey that in 2001 I lost my money as well. Yeah. So far, everybody who bought this book, everybody who read the book, every single one complained about this book. Yeah, so why are they complaining? They're complaining that it's very sad. So every time when they read, they cry, they have to use up the tissue paper. But of course, the book end up with some very good inspiration. Yeah, so I say complain, I mean in the good sense, they find very tear-jerking. Yep. So again, all the royalty sales proceeds go straight to National NCCS, National Cancer Centre of Singapore. So I don't make money out of books. Predominantly, I make money out of the stocks. Yep. So there are 3 books. Yep. So remember www.valueinvesting.com.
Yes.
Yep.
So this is the end of the
Interview.
interview.
Yeah.
So if you want to look for a mentor that can help you guide you through the investing journey,
Yeah.
if you prefer to learn yourself, okay, and prefer to take control over your finances, your investments, and you want to get ahead of your peers, okay, you can look for Mr. Cayden Chang.
Yeah. And if you want to know more about like insurance, protecting your loved one, you can always look for Geraint.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very happy that I made that statement. In front of 4,000 friends.
4,000 friends.
Wow, free publicity.
Free publicity.
So feel better already. Okay.
So you can follow Cayden
Yeah.
on like social media. I'll drop the links below.
Yeah, good.
In the description, social media, the links to the books.
Yeah, okay, good.
And also,
most important is
website.
my program.
Yeah, Alright, so I'll see you guys soon,
Okay, goodbye.
and bye bye.